Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is just going to be a bit of a chit chat. As you can see, it's dark. I haven't been feeling the greatest today, not in any particular way, just having a flat, can't be motivated, one of those days. So got no crafting done, was going to craft all afternoon and everything, and just sat and stared at it instead. I know, I can't be the only one that does that. I know what I want to do. Actually, I did do something. I did try a new die that I got with a magazine to see if it'll work with the idea I've got for a tag, and that's as far as I got. I ran it through the machine, cut it out in black and cut it out in white because I've got two different ideas working in my head. When I do the final one, it won't be white. It'll be whatever colour I want it to be. But the white, I just wanted to see how it looked, not in black, if that makes sense. So yeah, I did do that. But then by the time I did all that and tidied up a little bit to find crafty stuff that I had just put wherever, it was time to go get Jarrett. So my afternoon went, and when I got home, with Jarrett, I put the chicken wings in the oven. My oven's got a defrost function, so I put the chicken wings in the oven to defrost, and promptly had a snooze. Wasn't a long snooze. I think it was only like half an hour or so, but yeah, I had a snooze. Oh, sorry, that's hot. Because I haven't been sleeping at night again. It seems I've had two really good night sleeps. Not last Friday, the two before that, I got some decent sleep. Since then, I just can't sleep. But I'll get back to sleeping one day. Doesn't help, there's something in my bedroom wall. I think it might be a possum, because it makes a lot of noise. A lot of noise. And I actually talk to whatever it is, I talk to it. And I tell it, if it wants to make noise, it needs to do it during the day, not at night when I'm trying to sleep. Because it clunks and it clatters, and you can hear it running from one end to the other. And Corey's told me he's heard it down the other end of the house, and then sometimes you hear it in this wall here. It's like that's its house, and I'm sharing it with him, her, it. But I think that's causing me not to sleep much. I'm actually thinking of rearranging my bedroom so that instead of my bed being against the wall, it's actually under the window. Don't know how to work though, because I haven't got one window in my bedroom. I've got two like narrow windows, and the only problem with that during winter is that would mean that my head would be right under the heating vent, the duct, whatever you call that thing in the ceiling where the heat comes out. So yeah, that's the only reason I'm a bit iffy on doing that, because that's the only way I can have my bed. Because the other wall where the feet of my bed is at the moment is where the door is, and between the door and the window wall there's not enough space for it, and the other wall has got the walk-in robe and the ensuite doors, so very limited on where I can put it. But I'm thinking if I put it under the window, I won't be disturbed so much by the noise in the wall, which at the moment is right near my head. So yeah, what else have I been up to? Went to do an order on craftonline.com.au, whatever, the Australian one. And I'd been talking to Amanda from Heavenly Imaginings, and she was telling us that, talking about Afterpay, so I thought, oh yeah, cool, I'll do that. Well, when I went to check out, they wanted a payment tonight. And it's like, isn't Afterpay for when you can't afford, when you haven't got money to pay now? So after getting very, very frustrated, I just turned the computer off, because it had taken me 3 hours. I mean, in amongst that 3 hours, I did cook dinner and I did do a few other things, But I'd looked and I'd picked things out that I really wanted, and yeah, it was a bit upsetting. And the main thing that I wanted to get was the heat tool thing, the heat embossing tool. Not so much for embossing because I don't have anything to emboss with, but to quickly dry if I'm doing something, because I wanted the tag I wanted to make, I wanted to paint. And I thought, well, I can set it all out and paint it and that, but if I had this heat tool, I could just dry it and keep going. And also for Jared to dry his artwork. So I wasn't very happy at all. But obviously I wasn't meant to pay. I wasn't meant to buy it. If it was meant to be, it would be. That's the way I look at things in life. If they're meant to be, they'll be. Everything happens for a reason. Even if that, whatever it is, makes us really upset, angry, hurt, whatever, it happens for a reason. We go through what we go through for a reason. We do things. We may not know why behind it when we do it. We may not know the why behind it when it happens, but there is a reason. And that keeps me going, thinking like that. So, what else? Oh, yeah, when I was lying in bed last night, 3 a.m. this morning, trying to sleep between the possum noise and my brain just ticking over and over and over, I finally came up with what I'm going to be doing with my album that I'm making, the paper one, to give away for my challenge as a prize. So I've got to wait till next Tuesday and order some stuff to finish that off. And hopefully it gets here in time for me to do it. Well, there is still 6 weeks, so I should have plenty of time to get it done. So, yeah, that's about all. Not much has happened. I mean, I had a pretty boring weekend, as per usual. If you saw my project share yesterday, I said that I did do a pocket letter. I don't know. As I say in that video, I don't know how vintage it is. I really don't. People have tried to explain, and yeah, I've watched and everything. I just don't get vintage, and I don't get shabby chic in the sense of what it means, because I'm starting to realise that it means different things to different people. Because when I really stopped and thought about vintage, to me vintage would be 1960s stuff. Where I think in the crafting community as a whole, generally, they're looking more at vintage is more Victorian or, late 1800s, early 1900s. Where now, if we go by the meaning and definition of vintage of being 25 years or older, that now goes right up until the 60s, 70s, 80s. So it's your interpretation. But I tried to keep it what I would think, when I think of vintage, talking in craft vintage to me is fluffy lace, bird cages, all that ornate stuff. That isn't me. It really isn't. But I do it for people. But it's not me. As you all know, I'm cutesy. Bit lacy and frilly, but cutesy. And of course, as you know, not over the top, outrageous lace. But that's just me. The plainer, the clean lines, it's just me. So yeah, not a lot else going on. As I said, didn't craft today. The other night, in my video, my Chit Chat video, I showed you the start of the spools that I did for Debbie Vignola, which were the second lot that I'd done, because I lost the first lot. I've now misplaced the second lot. So I don't know what I'm going to do there. I have to find them. They've got to be here. They've got to be in that corner. Now, if you could see my corner, you'd probably understand why they're not just sitting on the top. So, yeah, I've got to get that happening. There's a few I've got to get happening because they're getting close to being drawn, but the mailing will have to wait till next week. Not a lot. Tomorrow I am going to it's a bit confusing. My mum and dad's neighbour. Now, my mum and dad live in the house that I grew up in, so they've lived there 39 years. And so their neighbour, who I was there, like living there still when she was born. I was 12 when she was born. So she's 30 this year. I was 12 when she was born and known her all of her life. She's graduating tomorrow, so I'm taking her mum with me, where the two of us are driving out to her graduation, which I'm looking forward to. I'm just hoping I'm not so tired. I don't really have anything fancy to dress in. I'm just going to wear a black long sleeve shirt like this, and I've got black like cargo pants, and my runners look brand new. So I thought that, and just do my hair, and I will concede and put on a little bit of makeup. When I say a little bit of makeup, my makeup consists of lipstick, eyeliner and mascara. That's it. And so yeah, I will do that. I was hoping to be able to get my hair done because I don't know if you can see, but there's a lot of grey. A lot of grey in it. I was hoping to get my hair done. I was hoping to be able to go and buy some clothes to wear and stuff, but the hair, yeah, I need to get my hair done. I want to get my hair done. But the clothes and stuff, really, for one day to go and buy a whole outfit or for a couple of hours, I couldn't justify it. I know. I struggle to buy stuff because if I can't justify why I'm buying it or that it'll get used more than once and stuff like that, I won't buy it. Oh, you should see me when I'm in the shops. Even when it comes to, like, scrapbooking papers and that. I can spend in Spotlight, because that's basically the only shop that I shop in at the moment. I can go to Spotlight and I can be there for 3 hours. Because I will look at every paper pad and I'll pick it up and I'll put it back and I'll pick it up and I'll put it back. Is there only one sheet in it that I like, or do I like multiple? What would I use it for? And I go through that process with everything I buy. So you can see why trips for me to the shops take a long time. Because I even do it when I go grocery shopping. I'm shocking. I think because I know I don't have a lot of money. I never used to be like it. I always used to just go in and buy whatever my hands laid on. This is when I still had my ex around. He had his own business, so, it was nothing to go and buy stuff. Like, it really wasn't. And I think that's why I'm struggling so much to adjust because, I can remember one weekend, Jarrett's Xbox broke down on a Sunday. And within an hour, we'd been down to the shops and bought him a new one. Like, that's how we lived. Or that's how he taught us to live, because I've never lived like that. I always lived with, if you want something, you lay by it, or, you save up and that. And, yeah, he didn't live like that. He wouldn't pay a bill so that he could have what he wanted. Like, rather than pay the bill and then have X amount of money left over and you think, oh, well, next pay I'll, put some more. And no. He'd go and buy whatever it was or do whatever he wanted to do and then worry about how he was going to pay the bill. And then he still lives like that. I just can't do it. I stand there and I compare prices and I look at products and I think, well, is this the same? Is it going to taste the same? Which one's better quality? Which one, It's not just go in, get what I want, I study labels for nutrition and ingredients because, you know, like talking about studying labels for ingredients and that, the other day, last fortnight, I wanted a cereal that's not cornflakes. I am over cornflakes and I didn't really want rice bubbles. So I thought, I'll go a muesli. Now, I don't like sultanas. I think that they are the most revolting thing ever invented, and I just don't like them. They're disgusting. Unless they're in raisin toast or hot cross buns. Then I like them. And I picked up, it was the Coles Tropical Summer Muesli. I read the ingredients and it did not list grapes on the ingredients. Or I didn't see it say grapes. And when I poured my first bowl, here are all these little bits of black blub, yet sultanas. And not just one or two blobs, they'd stuck together. Oh. But I'm eating it. I just close my eyes and think, well, they're good for me. But they're disgusting things. Oh, I don't know why someone can't make a muesli that's just got like pawpaw, pineapple, apple pieces, pear pieces, like the yummy fruits, not these disgusting shriveled up grapes. Mind you, I love grapes, but I hate wine. No, the smell of wine and the fact that I know it's fermented grapes, like mouldy grapes, really. And I can't stand sultanas. I can't stand raisins. Sorry, don't like any of that. Yeah, I love dried apricots and pawpaw, pineapple, mango, lots of other dried fruits I love. Strawberries, but not those little, they look like rabbit pellets. Rabbit poo. Oh, yeah. Anyway, I digress. So we've got a couple of projects coming up that I want to work on. Won't be working on any tomorrow during the day, I don't think, because I'm taking Jarrett to school and I'm continuing on to my mum's and have coffee with my mum, and then we're going to leave from there about 11:30. Then we're going out to the other side of the city because it's about an hour and a half drive. Depending on the traffic, it might be a bit longer. And this graduation starts at 1. I would assume it'd go for a couple of hours. And then say we're out of there, say 4 o'clock, the latest. We're out of there. It's going to probably take an hour and a half, 2 hours to get to my mum's. And then it's going to take me another hour to get home from my mum's. So it's going to be a long, full-on day. So my plans for Wednesday are nothing. I'm not going anywhere. I am not going to answer the phone. I am not doing anything. I'm going to shut myself off to the world and I'm going to do my washing and craft. That's my goal for Wednesday, and that's as far as I'm thinking at the moment. Can't think ahead any further. It's too much. So yeah, I can't think of really much else. Yeah, as I said, I'm trying to get these last few little challenge entries finished and out in the post by next Tuesday. And then I'm not doing, I think I've got 2 for June, the end of June. 2 or 3 for the end of June, and I'm not doing any more for a while. I've got a lot of things that I want to do. I keep saying it though, and then it's like, oh, but I've got to support this person. I always do this person, so they do mine, so I really, and I love making and creating for other people. That gives me my biggest joy, is creating and making for other people. So it's very hard for me to not do a challenge. I'd never do the challenge for the prizes. I always just do it because I love creating for other people. But I want to do some lace work. I really want to do a lace book, and with all the generosity from my last challenge, I now have enough to make my lace book. I'm now working for me. That one's for me. I do need to make the one for my challenge, but I'm talking I want to make a lace book for me, and what I'm going to use it for is to store photographs of all the creations I've made that I've taken photos for other people. You know, like all my challenge entries, my happy mail, random act, you know, those kind of things. Things that I've created and given away that I no longer have. I'm going to go to Officeworks and get them all printed out and have lots of pockets in this book and put all these photos in the pockets. And yeah, that's how I'm thinking of doing and using my lace book. Then I've got, I have done something else since I last spoke to you. I ended up, as I showed you the other day, that I'd made the 7.5 by 7.5. Well, I've now made a 6.5 by 6.5 because I worked out that the paper pads that I've got, which are generally the Kaisercraft, are 6.5 by 6.5. So it wouldn't be any good on that 7.5 by 7.5. So I thought if I do a little baby one, it's not really little and baby. I haven't put the pages in yet, but it is going to have 6 pages, and some of them are going to be interactive. And I know what I'm using to finish it. I've got to order it though and wait for it to arrive to be able to do it. But yeah, I did go down an inch just because of most of my papers being 6.5 by 6.5, and it just wouldn't work on the bigger one. And so I don't know what I'm going to do with the big one yet. I haven't worked that out. Maybe one day I'll get a really nice 12 by 12 or get some really nice 12 by 12 papers and be able to come up with something for it. But at the moment, my 12 by 12s are very limited in the sense of, okay, if it was a birthday book, yeah, fine, or basically it was a birthday, or I could probably do a clown circus theme because I've still got the clown circus theme. But as for pretty papers or plain papers and that, I haven't got it at the moment. So, yeah, that's why I made that one smaller. So it's 6.5 by 6.5 with 6 pages rather than the 7.5 by 7.5 with 8 pages. But being 6 pages, it will be, I think at least 2 or 3 of the pages will be interactive pages. So that's what I want to work on, but I haven't got the stuff to do it. So I have to wait. And then I've got a couple of other ideas floating around in my head of things that I want to try and stuff. Not for anybody in particular at the moment, just to try and see if they work. So yeah. Yeah, nothing else really. No, I hope you're having had or are having or had a good weekend. Must be nearly Sunday night or Monday morning over in the Northern Hemisphere by now. Monday night, what did I say? It's got to be either late Sunday night or early Monday morning is what I'm trying to say. I think I said that, but I'm not sure. Because we're Monday night at 11 o'clock here. So I'm going to say those words. I think, guys, I'm going to head off to bed in a minute. I'm really starting to get tired all of a sudden. And if I can go to bed without that little possum poo annoying me, I will be. And no, I'm not talking about Corey. Corey's asleep. Corey's been asleep since about 3 o'clock. His sleep pattern's all over the shop again. Hopefully by tomorrow it'll be back to normal. Funny when he didn't go to school at all. I know, he goes to school an hour a day, but last week because he was so sick he didn't go at all. So I'm hoping he gets back into a good sleep routine this week. Jarrett's out there painting. I know, you wouldn't think I had kids in this house. That's one advantage of having teenagers. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go. I'm going to say those words. I'll probably come back tomorrow night or Wednesday night and tell you how yesterday. Tell you how the graduation goes and all that crud. I was going to swear then. Alright, I'm going to go because I'm getting tired. And I will be back with some crafts and some chit-chats very, very soon. So, I hope you're healthy, happy and having fun, and I'll catch you soon. Bye for now.